Step into Wix Studio, where creative freedom meets absolute efficiency. Intelligent designs scale by default, and even advanced layouts adapt with responsive AI. In Studio, immersive experiences take shape with no-code interactions and custom CSS. Native business solutions extend with APIs and integrations, all on a platform engineered to scale. Step into your studio.
And you need this done by when?
Was this approved by management?
An entire landing page?
creating your first video? You should start with the music. Go to artlist.io and get high-quality music and sound effects for any type of video you want to create. For example, let's make it intense. Feeling sexy? Now, epic. Just maybe close the door before you start shooting. Get unlimited downloads, a license that fits all your creative needs, and perfect for every platform. Go to Artlist now and start creating without limits.
Yo, what's good? What's good? capping. They said that there was trying to fix this, man. Hold on. Hold on.
who has a boyfriend? Not me, bitch. Y'all be safe out there. Guess who has a boyfriend?
So, compete. Um, in response to the smash and grabs. You guys seen these smash and grabs? Check it out.
It's crazy in these streets. I mean malls.
So we're seeing all this. Usually a person of color, right? 9 times out of 10, it's a person of color. How much money? I've kind of went over this, but we're gonna go into it in more in depth. How much money do you think they stole right here? I bet you it wasn't even 100,000. I bet you it wasn't even 100,000. Let's say for all intents and purposes, it was 1 million. Which I mean, they only got away with what they could carry. So check it out. Now, I'm not saying this is right, but my point for this topic is that evil and most specifically thievery is happening on both sides of the coin when talking about the black community and the white community. Right here, we have video evidence of black people stealing. So, you can put it on social media and comment it and blow it up and do whatever you feel like with this footage. But what we don't really have footage of is the fact that here we go. The fact that whites are more likely to steal when it comes to business, meaning that the highest rate of white collar crime is 70%, and it's committed by whites. So basically, whites commit 70% of white collar crimes. And that's when it comes to business. So this is your stock market scams. These are your business scams. These are your money laundering scams. These are your Wolf of Wall Streets, American Gangster, whatever, American Psycho, or whatever it is. So, and this stuff, this info is on the FBI's website. Look. And I think here we go. Here we go. Always trying to move the needle. Why are you moving the needle, bro? Now it's about being violent. Because here's the thing. You don't want to talk about violence, M303. You don't want to talk about that, bro. I will debunk you, bro. Because here's the thing. First of all, you move the needle. Because first of all, we're talking about thievery. We're not talking about violence. We could talk about violence. We will. Thank you for commenting, by the way. Thank you for commenting. Um, so when it comes to thievery, right here. I mean, boom. When it comes to thievery, and please join me on my YouTube live. 20 shocking white collar crime statistics. The state of white collar crime in the U.S. This is from 2023, guys. I don't know what we're going to find here. White collar crime research summary. The white collar crime refers to a range of fraud committed by business and government professionals. You might be shocked to discover just how prevalent white collar crime is and how little it gets prosecuted. You hear that? How little white collar crime gets prosecuted. So now let's keep going. White collar crimes are estimated to make up only 3% of federal prosecutions. White collar crime prosecutors decreased 53% from 2011 to 2021. Annual losses from white collar crimes. Wow, this number's crazy, bro. Annual losses from white collar crimes as of 2021 are anywhere from 426 billion to 1.7 trillion. The wide range here is due to lack of prosecutions, y'all. So we're gonna see what race commits white collar crimes. And then we're gonna compare. There was 4,180 white collar prosecutions in 2022. It's estimated that up to 90% of white collar crimes go unreported. Here we go, here we go, here we go. So fraud is the most one. We need to look at race. We need to look at race. White collar statistics by white collar criminals. Let's see, more than half of white collar criminals are between 41 and 60. So we got middle age. In fact, and here we go. 75%, 75%, my friend. 75% of those who commit property crimes, embezzlement, counterfeiting, bribery, or fraud are white. Read it in wheat, my boy. And I'm half white, by the way, bro. So this isn't too fun to learn from me, bro. But I am half black as well. So right here. So this is in response to these little racist comments of all these people on TikTok. You little grimy kids, go freaking do some push-ups. Go learn your history, bro. So you see this and it looks bad. I'm not gonna lie, like it looks so deceiving though. It looks bad. But you know what? I'm willing to bet the farm, bro. I'm willing to bet the farm that the amount of money stolen by these smash and grabs is nowhere near. Where's that number at? Where's that number at? It's nowhere near 426 billion to 1.7 trillion. It's just nowhere near that, bro. So that's in my response, dude. I mean, what black people are stealing is this much, and what you feel me? So um, that's just what we got going on here. Um, what's it called? What's it called? Nobody should steal. No, 100%. Nobody should steal. It's wrong on both ends. Don't get me wrong. Black people doing smash and grabs is just as wrong as white people committing fraud and embezzlement. But the fact of the matter is, what they're doing is way more destructive than what black people are doing. And let's get back to my boy's comment over here, who said at least we ain't violent offenders, which that doesn't look too good because you guys us, and when I say you I mean we because I'm half white. White people actually, let's see, there is a statistic around here somewhere. Basically, the mass shootings that are committed by white people are more violent and more senseless than the killings that go on in the hood. Um, and my reasoning on that is the killing that goes on in the hood is usually it has to do the people know each other. Maybe someone said something wrong, didn't pay somebody back. Maybe um, you know, maybe what's it called? I have it written down here. Maybe some didn't pay somebody back, jealousy, whatever. Right? At least there have I ever been to Chicago? Nah, I never been to Chicago. At least at least there's there's reasoning behind it. These mass shootings are senseless. These mass shootings are senseless. And it's a real form of terror attacks. Um it's called Chirac for a reason. Yeah, I know it's called Chirac, but you got to understand the history of Chicago. You understand that the reason, and I learned this back in like high school. We could talk about Chirac. Um, That's basically a ghetto that was created by the government, if I'm not mistaken. Like O Block, you can't. It's basically like you're blocked in. Like you can't really leave. And they used to have freaking like snipers, if I'm not mistaken, on the freaking like guarding it. Isn't that what we're talking about? Shot like O Block snipers. We're gonna talk about how we're gonna talk about how the government. What is this? Check this out.
Like, what was that experience for you?
Oh, that shit was dope. Shit was fire. It was like it's like his niggas was my niggas was his niggas. We was all good and we was like taking care of each other, making sure each
But
other good. You know what I mean,
the
they got their
violence
shit
that goes on in
situated.
there.
Good.
I want to kind of to do some more research. Hmm. Anyways, let's stay on task. It's called Chirac for a reason, yeah, because there's a lot of violence in there. But what's interesting is that, um, I mean, you hear this through the grapevine. People always say that the U.S. is responsible for what goes on in Iraq, like actual Iraq, right? Like they go there uninvited. They're not really supposed to be there, and they're just causing trouble. So it's interesting to compare Chicago to Chirac because you could say the same thing, and like uh, that place was meant to be that way. But regardless, the point stands. The people in Chicago know each other. I mean, they make songs about it, right? You feel me? None of these victims knew know these shooters. Like sometimes if it's a school shooter, but even then, at that point, they're still killing innocent people as well. So, in my opinion, remember, you guys can have your own opinion. I can have my opinion. Everyone's gonna do what they're gonna do. But I'm just saying that if I can understand, if I was a judge and somebody killed so and so because he did what, and they knew each other, and maybe there was a girl involved, and he had the girl, and the other guy had the girl, that makes sense. That's understandable. If there was a dude in my courtroom who had just shot up a mall for no reason, first of all, the last thing I'm gonna blame is his mental health because you're well aware if you the last thing we're gonna blame for these mass shooters is their mental health now. These people know what they're doing. These people are not these people are not crazy, bro. These people know how to load a weapon, fire a weapon, get themselves to the location, reload. These people are not mentally ill. These people want to cause harm to this country, even though they're from it. And that just doesn't look good on paper, especially because the people who mostly do it are non-melanated. Shout outs to my bro M303. You're talking about how you guys aren't violent offenders. I would argue how you guys are the most of violent offenders. And when I say you, I mean me, because I'm half white, bro. It sucks. But any type of mass shooting is senseless, bro. Going to a Vegas nightclub, Captain is off from the tower. That's senseless violence, bro. And that's the reason why I want to be very specific with the words is because you can fix what's going on in the hoods. All you got to do is give them money. I promise you. Because it's not a black or white thing. If you put a bunch of Asians in the hoods, it's going to be trouble. If you put a bunch of Mexicans in the hoods, it's going to be trouble. If you put a bunch of white people in the hoods, it's going to be trouble. That's why you got your trailer trash, which is like poor white people. Because when poor people are forced to live together and commingle, violence happens. Yeah. Well, hold on. We need to, well, first of all, yeah, I mean, I was being kind of short on my words, but yeah, we need to get them money. My point is, here's the thing. If me and you are fighting, right? Say me and you have beef over a girl, say you owe me money, I owe you money, me and you are fighting, right? We're getting ready to take it violent. If somebody comes and gives me $100,000 and gives you $100,000, now here's the thing. We could do one or two things. One or two things could happen. We could either use that money to do more violence, or we could use that money to go wherever we want, do whatever we want with our lives. We're more statistically likely to not be violent if we're not poor, because poverty comes with desperation, and desperate people usually it's desperate, right? Desperate times calls for desperate measures. So desperate people do desperate things, and that usually involves violence. So, um, what are we talking about? Yeah, we need to not just, well, here's the thing. We need to talk about reparations. Well, here's the thing, bro. I feel like you haven't been educated, bro. We haven't been educated, because the whole handout thing is, these people in the hoods aren't looking for handouts. Like, we got to go back in time to history, because the first people to actually need handouts from the government were poor white people, not black people. It wasn't black people in the hoods. Like, this goes back to the 1930, in the Great Depression. A lot of people, especially Charlie Kirk, likes to blame the 1960s, when uh uh Lyndon B. Johnson or whatever signed that Food Stamp Act. But that was actually the second time it was signed, guys. That was the second Food Stamp Act that was enacted. The first Food Stamp Act was enacted during the Great Depression, when white America was literally about to starve to death. You feel me? And also, there was a bunch of white fatherless households because of the war. So, I mean, white soldiers were the first deadbeat dads. That's a joke. That's a joke. But still, whether the dad is at war or he's hustling, you still get the negative effects from a father not being in the home. Here's the thing. You said, when I need money, I go to work, not looking for handouts. But here's the thing, there is no work. When the government gave out food stamps to white people in the 1930s, it's because there was no work and people were starving. But here's the thing. Right, we say, but they'll steal randomly from other people's business. Here's the thing, the stealing's happening on both sides, my friend. And and what this goes, I mean, you got to watch my podcast from, like, uh, you know, 2 days ago or whatever. But white people actually do the most stealing when it comes to business. So they just do it, uh they do it better. But that's because they created the system. So if you see black people stealing, Mexican people, anybody that's stealing, usually 9 times out of 10 they need the money, right? Can we agree on that? Like, when you look at these black people in doing these smash and grabs, you could tell these motherfuckers don't have money. You can tell by the way they dress. You could tell, just you could tell, right? Need or want. When we're talking about money, I think they need it. I think if someone, because nobody wants to steal, bro. Have you ever stolen anything? Does that make you feel good? Do you feel good about yourself after? Unless you're influenced. But here's the thing. Here's my point. These people are stealing because they need money. Obviously, they don't have money. Um, I don't think it's because they want money. Stealing doesn't. Here's the thing, bro. It's happening on both sides. These people are stealing because they need money. The reason why it's a need over a want is because they don't have any. Like, I'm just betting that maybe they have 5,000 stashed under under the mattress, or maybe their uncle's some billionaire in the stock market and they're just stealing because they want money. Maybe you're right. But I think it's actually happening on the other end with white people they're stealing because they want money. Because all of these frauds, I mean, look, right here, $426 billion to 1.6 to 1.7 trillion. That's a year. So these people, and it's 75% are white people that do this. They're not stealing because they need money. They're stealing because they want it. Because how much money do you need to survive? Right? These people in the hood are on welfare. They're living off the government. But trust me, I'm my theory is that the government took the data that was used from the time when they gave handouts to poor white people and they flipped it and they did it again on blacks. Why else would they bring it back in the 1960s? They saw because the concerns of and they're laughing while doing it. No, they shouldn't well, first of all, it's youngins. Can we agree on that? It's young kids doing this, bro. So, yeah, they're laughing while they're doing it, right? They're young, immature. They probably got dared to do this. This is like some stuff you get dared to do. I know I said because they need it. Maybe it could go either way. Maybe they don't need it. But regardless, these kids are like they're no older than 30, right? We're not making excuses, but I mean, we're gonna make a comparison, not an excuse. So you got, let's say, a 20-year-old stealing handbags versus right here. What's the age right here? Versus 75% um of these white collar crimes, no pun intended, they're committed by people who are like 40 years old, bro. These are 40-year-old, these are grown men committing these crimes who definitely they have no excuse. They can't say, "Oh, I'm just a young 20-year-old. I don't know better." Blah blah blah. And by the way, I respect your opinion, bro. I respect the you engaging in this conversation because this conversation sucks, bro. I don't like having it. I be feeling like I'm racist, but I'm not racist, bro. Like these statistics are true. I don't like harping on anybody, bro. Like I don't really like doing this, but this is really if you're 20, you should be a grown man. Nah, not really, bro. Nah, not really. How old are you, man? Cause 20 years old, if you're 20 years old, and here's the thing. So you're 46, bro. Come on. Come on, bro. You're gonna tell me you're the same guy now at 46 that you were when you're 20? Come on, bro. I'm not the same person I was at 20 that I was. You had two kids at 20. Okay, so well, all right. I respect that. I respect that. So, but again, are you the same person now that you were then? Would you? That's the question. That's the question. Because two kids at 20, yo, what's good, Max? What's good? That's what I'm saying. Life changes. I'm sure now, because think about it. The data suggests that men your age, their mid 40s, are committing these committing the highest level crimes in the world. And it's actually stealing. Here's the thing. These people got insurance too, right? These What's good, bro? We just talking about racism in here. We're being really racist in here. Nah, I'm just playing. That's a joke, everybody. It's a joke. That's a joke. But that's basically what politics is. It's just racism. Like it's like allowed racism. Doesn't this store have insurance? Doesn't this store thoughts on Eminem? I got you, bro. I'll give you my thoughts on Eminem. He's the GOAT. All right. Um, I'll harp more on that later. Cause we yapping. We stay big yapping. It's the Hooligans Podcast. Um, doesn't these companies have insurance on all these items? Right? These companies are insured. So you know who's not insured? The investors. Investors' money is not insured. Did you know that? So, and here's the thing. When Mr. Ramaswamy did his little magic trick, popped out with $40 million after submitting failed data to IPO his company, and the data came back failed. After he made 40 million, all the people who invested in his company, they didn't get squat. They just get blamed on. Oh, well, that's investing, they got scammed, bro, and there's no insurance for that. So the people who are committing these crimes, it shows right here, 3% are only prosecuted. So this company can get their money back. These black people aren't really doing that much destruction or damage because this company's insured. It's like a car crash, right? If I get in a car crash, it sucks, but if I have insurance, I'm fine, right? Financially. In this section, when these people are robbing, when these people are getting robbed, they're not getting their money back. So that's another fun fact for you. Um, this is, I mean, and you guys could go look this stuff up too, man. Because, I mean, bet tiene le puro macana. Basically, we need to re-understand the last 100 years of history. The last 120 years of history need to be we need to have like a big television in the sky. We need to get those drones, make a big television, and we need to re-educate the whole country on what happened. So robbing your neighbors is cool. No, it's not cool. Both sides are in the wrong. I'm just saying. But I don't know if you know who Charlie Kirk is. He's like this young freaking Republican who's kind of like the face of the Republican social media these days. So there's this dude named Charlie Kirk. So rob your neighbors is cool because they have insurance. No, it's not cool because they have insurance. I'm talking about who's doing the most destruction to society. These people should be put in jail. They should be prosecuted to the fullest extent. But at the same time, so should the people committing. And by the way, I have this open on my laptop. I got this airing on YouTube. If you want to check it out, bro. The Hoolagans Podcast. These people should be prosecuted to the furthest extent as well. But it's only happening 3% of the time, y'all. And yeah, so this is basically in response. Ben Shapiro. I know Ben Shapiro. He actually, that dude's funny, man. He's funny. He's quick with his words. He's very quick with his words. But yeah, this was in response to Charlie Kirk, who he goes to like these colleges and he does debates with students. And he's just very arrogant and mean when he talks. Like just to get straight to the point, he's arrogant and mean, bro. Like, and that's the thing. Like, if someone's in the right, you're 46. When you're in the right and you're trying to truly educate somebody, is arrogance and uh being mean the way to do it? Is that really the way to do it? No. I would assume no. You're gonna you're gonna show them facts first of all, And you have to do the research. Thank you, bro. See, thank you. And the reason why I say that is because whenever someone's arrogant and mean, it's like, how are they right? They can't, there's no way they can be right. Even if they're spitting out facts and statistics and I don't have a background in politics. I'm just getting into politics. But what I do notice is all these dudes do is spit out statistics that support their point. And they think they're like Einstein when they deliver these statistics, which you can all you gotta do is Google. And we're gonna get into this, bro. I got more to say. Um, and that's why I'm trying my best not to, to keep the conversation cordial, to keep it fair, nice. I got a candle burning. We burning a candle. But I understand this conversation, and in order to really give your opinion on this conversation, you're gonna be passionate. Facts, facts. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Yeah, like you're gonna get passionate. So I get Charlie's passion because, and me, I don't know how you feel about spirituality, Noel, but I really am big into that, and I believe that we're all spirits first, and then we assume these bodies. So, and trust me, I've had my experiences to validate that for me. Shout outs to the shout outs. So when I'm looking at politics, it's like, man, this is so sad, bro. Oh, no alliances. Thought it was Noel. My bad, my bad, bro. No alliances. Why is that your username, man? That sounds crazy. That sounds like you mean business, man. Sound like you standing on business. Yeah, this you have to be passionate when talking about this conversation because although we are the the whole idea of whether we're spirits is still up in the air, at least in this generation. So some people really do think they're the color they're their body or they're the color of their skin. I know I'm not this. I know this is in me. You feel me? But it took me getting there to know that. I didn't always know that. So, there's always something behind this. And yeah, so we're gonna continue on. We're gonna continue on. Like I was saying, politics is a big game of who can find the most damning statistic to support their argument. Like me saying like middle-aged men are the biggest thieves in America. That sounds racist as heck, right? That sounds so mean to say. But that's what politicians do. You need to have hot takes, shock and awe. Um, it sucks because it causes people to get angry. And I don't like confrontation. I'm a Virgo. You feel me? Look, I don't know if you're how should what be? No alliances. Um, I don't know if you're up to game on Ramaswamy, but Ramaswamy came on the Breakfast Club, and this guy's got this idea. And the thing is with Ramaswamy, all of his ideas, like almost like not all of them, but like 90% of his ideas are just Trump's ideas. So like Trump, he may have been good for the country business wise, but we got to talk about this country and their business things. Because like the great Jake Paul has stated, America is a business, and most people don't know that. Well, yeah, I mean, on the surface level, we're all different, but deep down, we're all the same. I mean, when it comes to being a human, I need water. You need water. I need I need to have fun. You need to have fun. right? Because people jump out of buildings when they stop having fun. I need to have a job. You need to have a job. The reason why is because we need cash. You need food, you need fun, and you need finance. That's that's my motto. Because yes, I will be running for president of the United States one day. And right now I'm currently running for city council of North Hollywood. Um but I'm in this because I feel called to it. It is what it is. Not intellectually. No, yeah, facts. Facts. Like that, but that's surface level stuff. So like intellectual is just surface level. Like um me and you don't have to be the same intelligence in order to get along. My motto is finding the common ground whenever I'm trying to get along with someone, with another human being. And what do we have common ground? Human beings like to have food. Have food. They like to have food. They like to have fun. They like to eat, and they need money. It is what it is. It couldn't be worse than Biden. No, I agree with you, bro. But here's the thing: are you a spiritual man yourself? I need to know. I need to ask that question because maybe Biden's supposed to be in power. Maybe this stuff's supposed to be happening. Maybe there is an overall direction in which this world is going in that is um what's the word for it? It's uninterrupted by anything physically happening at any given moment. Biden's not a good president. I will straight up say that. I will straight up say that he's not a good president. And the reason why I don't think Biden's a good president is because he's not inspiring anybody. What I can respect about Trump is Trump inspired people, bro. He got people's attention, bro. He got people thinking, what? This douchebag Hollywood celebrity rich guy just became president? Oh man, now, what am I doing now? I'm thinking too small now. This guy just became president. No, 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 no. See, that's inspiring, bro. But Joe Biden, the typical super old guy in office, and if you notice, Biden has like a really nasty temper on him, a nasty temper, and when he snaps, it's like whoa, dude, like chill out, like whoa, take it easy, man. Like Trump is easygoing. What he said, he got something done. Yeah, and that's what I like about Trump. I'm telling you, the only thing really I'll say I don't like about Trump is that he may have inspired the wrong people. You know what I'm saying? He may have inspired the wrong people, and I feel like he inspired, all this MAGA movement. This MAGA movement didn't exist. I know it started with what's his face, Ronald Reagan in the '60s or whatever. First of all, let's talk about MAGA. I'm glad I brought that up because MAGA the MAGA movement is just dirty, bro. It's a dirty energy to this country. Like, are you trying to bring us together or divide us? Because the MAGA movement just feels like a racist movement. Like, it feels like a bunch of cowboy, like, white guys running up with them flags, like, yo, we own it. Like, that's the energy, bro. And I'm not, am I wrong? No, you guys feel that too? There'll never be someone we can all agree on. No, that's true too. That's true. Well, here's the thing. Antifa and MAGA are different. They're in totally different categories of how they impact the world. I mean, Antifa isn't like a political party. Isn't no one's the head, like, right? What is Antifa? I'm gonna Google that. I'm gonna Google that, bro. Cause actually, I'm not too well versed on Antifa. Why do they hide their faces? The thing with the Antifa thing, though, those people who dress in black and all right. First, let's talk about MAGA and specifically just the saying, right? Make America great again. First of all, after doing my research on this country, aside from the racist past, aside from that, this country was really never great. I mean, every decade there's been tragedy, bro. Like deep. Every decade there's either been a Great Depression, a war, um, freaking drug problems. You know, people are poor. Um, it's just always something, bro. It's always something. Like in the 40s with the Vietnam War, in the 50s. Forgot what happened in the 50s, but in the 60s we had the Food Stamp Act came. That's when Charlie Kirk says the downfall of the black man happened. Then we had the 70s, forgot what happened there, but the 80s we had the crack epidemic. And then the 90s, I think that's when HIV came out. And in 2000 we had 9/11. 2010 decade, what was that? 2010 to 2020 was kind of nice. It was kind of a nice time. Like we did have those like Ebola and swine flu type of outbreak stuff, but there was really, I mean, Trump was kind of the craziest thing that happened from 2010 to 2020. But anyways, my reasoning for saying that America will never be great again is because of the internet. I mean, am I the only one who has who has noticed this? Has under do I under I'm the only one who stand how the internet has affected the economy? Because the internet, it's not the Mexicans taking people's jobs. It's not the Mexicans, it's not the immigrants, it's not nobody, dude. It's the internet. Like all the jobs are getting offloaded to we all talk about AI, but we're not talking about the internet. We're not talking about Jeff Bezos. You feel me? We're not talking about how you're never gonna all these old politicians like to even Ramaswamy likes to say that we're gonna stop business with China and we're gonna start producing things here. It doesn't matter, bro, because people are making money on the internet. People can make you can make more money. Why what do you think I'm doing right now? I'm proving the point. I'm proving my own point. People probably think this is dumb. I'm live streaming for freaking hours at a time every day. I mean, right now I'm not making no money. I'll keep it G. I just started. But I used to live stream like 6, 7 years ago. I was making enough money to pay my rent. So that's who's taking the jobs, guys. Um, and unless Joe Biden or Trump or Ramaswamy or whoever is planning on banning the internet, America will never go back to having the economy just stay in America. That's not gonna happen because businessmen, businessmen, the whole game of business is cutting costs, right? Why would I pay someone $20 an hour to do something in America when I can pay someone $5 an hour to do it somewhere else? And I'm not gonna lie, I feel bad about paying people that little of money, but first of all, business is business, right? It's not personal, it's just business. Second of all, the money gets stretched out further in other countries than it does over here. So it's not technically just like $5 like we're thinking. Um, but that's let's go. Let's keep it pushing. Let's keep it pushing. We'll talk about Antifa. Let's talk about Antifa. So Antifa is a leftist. It's a democratic people. These democratic vigilantes. Is that what we got? Antifa is a left-wing anti-fascist, anti-racist political movement in the U.S. It consists of a highly decentralized array of autonomous groups that use nonviolent direction. I'm gonna tell you something about this. Antifa kind of seems like a plant, yo. All people think Gaza is Palestine. All people think Gaza is Palestine Authority and Salam alaikum Palestine only Wahid Philip. It says right here non-violent on the Wikipedia. But I'm like, yo, don't these people? Because I do agree with you that I've seen the Antifa people effing things up, for lack of a better word. But this the thing is that do you know what a $5 Indian is, bro? $5 Indian. Quick history reset. Lesson. A $5 Indian is when remember the government was giving out land to the Indians because they felt sorry. Well, what happened was white people got wind of this and started going down to register themselves as Indians. They too, they too are now Indians. They too now are oppressed in the land. So these white folks would go down to the register, and all they would do is have to pay the other white guy because they were doing, white people running it. People running the registration were white. You just slide them a $5 bill, and you're now an Indian, my friend. You are now entitled to your compensation of government land. So that's a $5 Indian. So the information has just been tampered with. You feel me? Still happens today, both sides. What do you mean? What do you mean exactly? Most Antifa political activism is nonviolent, involving. It's funny right here. They be double talking too. People just straight up lie. This is Antifa is a nonviolent groups that use nonviolent direction action. But then the next sentence goes, most Antifa political activism is nonviolent. But $5, I don't think you can still, I mean, technically you probably could still register today, but it wouldn't be, it couldn't be happening on both sides technically because, I mean, if an Indian's an Indian, they're an Indian, but if they're not an Indian, then they shouldn't be registered. You fit? Am I missing something? You don't see MAGA. Well, MAGA isn't a equal equivalent to Antifa because MAGA is literally Trump's support group. This Antifa thing is more of a. It's like if MAGA was started by a bunch of individuals, then there would be a conversation. But it's not like Biden runs Antifa. Maybe, I don't know. Does Biden run Antifa? Like, I don't know who technically runs Antifa. The American Antifa movement grew after Donald Trump was elected president in the United States in 2016. Antifa activist actions have received support and criticism from, but I've also seen that there's white people in Antifa too. It's not like let's look up Antifa because from what I've heard is that Antifa they are kind of like the troublemakers of the left wing movement. So Antifa is a Trump hate group. Not technically. because Antifa would still be Antifa. Look, and these people aren't like these people are not melanated, my friend. Look, I don't see a bunch of black people in here, but I guess these are your social justice warrior types. Because I mean, they don't look very athletic. They don't look very intimidating. This guy's got glasses. Yeah, these definitely don't. Oh, I feel you. I feel you, bro. In what I said. No, it. That's a good point, though. That is a good point. That is a good point. Let's see. Let's see. It says the American Antifa movement grew after Donald Trump was elected president. Okay, I get. I could hear that. But when did Antifa start though? Like, I see what you're saying. That's a good point. That's a good point. Trump did kind of ignite them, but they're like if you're talking to a MAGA guy, you know he likes Trump. I mean, I guess if you're talking to Antifa, you might be able to say they like Biden, but you know they don't like Biden. Like most Democrats, I don't think really like Biden. I think it's just they don't like Trump. I think you can assume Antifa people don't like Trump, but they're not. But do we trust what you're reading? I mean, this is Wikipedia. If you should you trust me? I mean, I'm just a guy on TikTok, so I would do more research before you not just trust the guy on TikTok. But this is on Wikipedia. I'm not making this up. And you could see it live right now on my YouTube. Like you could even go watch this replay, bro. You could go listen back to our conversation. I'm live on YouTube right now. YouTube.com/ at hooligans. They're biased. Yeah, I believe that. But here's the thing: is Antifa? But me personally, me personally, because I do actually agree with you. We're on the same page with that. Antifa's a wild movement. They're wild. They're wild people. And but here's the thing: let's look up when Antifa started. Because another thing is Trump was really the first politician. Yeah, yup. At hooligans, like at like the A, and but hooligans spelled with an A. So HOOLAGANS. And if you look up the hooligans, yeah, so youtube.com/ at hooligans or the Hoolagans Podcast should pop up. We on this thing. But yeah, so let's see when Antifa origin. Yeah, I mean they're crazy people. But they're kind of making the left look bad. Origins of Antifa. The left's explosive prolonged range at the election of President Donald Trump. Oh yeah, my point was Trump was kind of the first person to use social media. Like he was the first guy during this social media era to really see you know for social media to really be able to affect an election. Um, but he's also just a wild boy. I mean, that's the thing is like say Ronald Reagan, George Bush, Roosevelt. Imagine if we had social media during that time. Like that would be crazy, bro. Oh, here we go. Here we got some info on when Antifa started. Antifa or militant progressives have always existed and flourished in democracies. Militant progressives were part of the 1960s and 1970s counterculture and were active during the anti-globalization protests of the 1990s and 2000s. So it is difficult to state where Antifa began. It is more of an evolution of progressive militancy than a bird. So were these like the hippies? Is this an evolution of the hippie movement? Because that's kind of what I'm. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting. Yo, thanks for the hearts. Thanks for the hearts. M303, what's good, bro? I'm glad you still in here, man. We out here. We out here yapping, bro. We big time yapping. And shoot, man. Out here yapping. But yeah, so Antifa, I mean, it says here it's from the 1960s. So that sounds like the hippie movement. But let's keep it pushing. Let's keep it pushing. Um oh yeah, I need to harp on Ramaswamy for a little bit. They don't act like hippies. Hippies are peace and love. Yeah, yeah, that's true, but like no, that is true. But I still feel like they do drugs as well. I still feel like Antifa people are on drugs. Like no, that's true because I feel like is it an evolution? Is Antifa just angry hippies? They're violent hippies because they got the blue hair. They kind of want to just relax. I don't want to work. I don't know, man. But we need to. I need to. I need to talk about Ramaswamy because we gotta keep the show showing. You feel me? Um, we gotta talk about Ramaswamy. What you know about Ramaswamy, guys? Um, my point is that politics is a big game of statistics, right? If you can find a statistic that supports your argument, all you got to do is tell that to people, and then they'll have this puzzled look in their face because no one really knows what to do when someone tells them a statistic. It's kind of like and and it's like statistics are like this horrible Eminem horrible Eminem impressions is all I know. Yo, okay, are you talking about Ramaswamy? You talking about Swami Rami? We gotta talk about. So politics is a big game of who can find the most statistics to support their argument. All right, yeah. Okay, thank you, bro. This guy Ramaswamy, man. What I can say nice about him because I don't like to just talk negative about people. I don't feel good later. Like when I'm just chilling by myself, be like, "But I didn't have this. I didn't see it like that. I didn't see it like that." What I can say about Swami Rami is that Ramaswamy I like his energy, man. I like his go-getter mentality. Now he may be willing to cross some boundaries in order to go and get it, but I respect it. He's just a flamboyant person that yeah, he's very expressive. He's very opinionated and expressive. But what I that's the only thing I have nice to say about him, really. Because what I don't respect is that he let's see. I don't respect because I'm not trying to get too crazy. But here's the thing. My initial point was that here's what Ramaswamy said. Ramaswamy said. He said he wants to change the voting age from 18 to 25, I believe, unless you take a civics test, some test. He wants to make you take more tests after you've already just went through 12 years of testing, right? And his and this is where I gotta really get on him, and I don't want to do it, but he's running for president, and he's the one that's trying to go for the crown. I'm like, yank, I'm about to yank it because no, not you, bro. And but here's the thing: if he's meant to be the president, he'll be the president. I also, I also know that's true. Um, so he wants to change the voting age from 18 to 25 unless you take a test, right? And his supporting evidence for this was some company did a poll, and here we go with the statistics, right? That said something along the lines of 70 to 80% of millennials would rather give up their right to vote than use TikTok, right? He's like, these people are obsessed with TikTok. They're obsessed with TikTok. That's his point. I agree. If you're old enough to fight for your country, you get to vote. That's the thing. Is like, first of all, voting in this country has not always just been like yeah, because I was real mad when I first heard this. But let me stick to the point. So his statistic, that's what he said. He goes on the Breakfast Club. He goes, yeah, millennials, 70% of millennials would rather give up their right to vote than use TikTok. So because of that, one of my policies will be this civics test to take away their right to vote unless they pass this test. Now I got some things to say about that. This is a tricky man. Ramaswamy is a tricky man. You guys got to listen to him when he talks. Okay? Because the poll, this is why you can't be honest with people too. Don't be honest when taking these polls. Because look, these people were honest and now he's using their honesty against them. So just there's a whole bunch of there. But the poll said, would you rather choose to use TikTok or vote? Well, then, if that's what the poll was and it was 80%, then let's take them for their word for it. And why isn't the policy then you either get to use TikTok or vote? Why isn't that the policy that he's coming up with? Because that's what people were that's what people were actually conversating about. The conversation was never about, am I gonna give up my right to vote unless I take the civics test? If someone's not intelligent, should their opinion matter? Well, here's the thing. First of all, yes, because none of us have the right as human beings to say if someone else's opinion doesn't matter. And here's the thing. Let's get in. Let me just finish it. Let's get me finish it. So that's what he said, right? So he's doing this data flipping again. So he's like, because of that, I get to now propose this test that you must take in order to vote. So first of all, it's like right there is that's just evil, bro. Because the 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 uh the the what is it? The survey is a far cry away from forcibly taking people their right to vote. And here's the thing: if someone's intelligent, should their opinion matter? Here's the thing: we force the children in this country to go to school for 12 years. You're forced to go to be educated for 12 years. If the government, and here's the thing, Ramaswamy who's Ramaswamy to say what people know and don't know about this country? And here's why I don't like talking about this, but we gotta talk about it. He's a first generation American. This guy Ramaswamy, his parents came here like 50 years ago. So this dude doesn't really have any real family history here. And when I say family history, I'm talking about hundreds of years, descendants. There's Native Americans, there's people walking around today whose families have been in this country for thousands of years. So this dude he doesn't really have any hold on this country. So of course he doesn't care about changing the rules. And he likes to say we as American, and when the founders started this country, like he talks as if he's been here and as if his family's been here. Like, what if I were to go to India and just start thinking I can run things there? Just because I have money. Just because I'm a little bit more well off than the citizens there, than the people's citizens. But here's the thing. I'm gonna answer your question. If someone's not intelligent, should their opinion matter? Here's the thing. We send how are the children of this country not intelligent if they're going to school for 12 years? Right? I mean, what are we talking about? Intelligence. These kids just went to school for 12 years. Of course they're intelligent. Of course their opinion matters. I think when people come here, they should wave our flag, not where they ran from the flag. That's another thing that's the thing. That's the thing. Yeah, I don't like that Ramaswamy just comes to this country and think he can just run things, bro. And I think that was inspired by Trump. I think, here's the thing. yeah, that's kind of what I have to say about Ramaswamy. It's like, bro, who are you to say who is intelligent and who isn't intelligent? I mean, if someone has a here's the thing. Um, yeah, that's a good question. If someone is not intelligent, should their opinion matter? When it comes to voting, I think that every adult, because if someone is an adult, that means that nature has uh let's see, someone's an adult, that means they're at the full point in their life. I don't know. If someone's not intelligent, should their opinion matter? I don't think that's the question. I think Ramaswamy's point is that let me answer your question. If someone's not intelligent, should their opinion matter? In what sense? In voting, like in politics? But here's the thing. If someone's not intelligent, then their opinion shouldn't make it past them, right? That would get shut down because this is a voting is done through the masses. So if we're talking about certain ideas, if someone's not intelligent, should their opinion matter? So that means we're gonna say that they have stupid ideas, right? Let's just for conversation, we'll say should stupid ideas matter? I think stupid ideas will get sorted out through in the marketplace. It's kind of like if you have a good product, it will sell. The marketplace will sort itself out. I mean, I think the civics test is a stupid idea. I think making a grown adult take another test after they just graduated, proving that they've that they've just I don't know done all these tests. I think that's stupid. But do I think that Ramaswamy's a stupid man? I don't know. I think he's actually very smart. I seen that nigga play Beethoven on the piano. So whoever screams the loudest should win. Well, here's another thing that Ramaswamy didn't even bring up when it comes to voting, which is another reason why he's either A, just really not fit for this job, or he's just a really good con man. Because when you vote, he didn't even talk about how voting is done, which is through the electoral college votes. Now, call me whatever you want, but the electoral college is confusing as heck, bro. And if you want to educate anybody, Ramaswamy, educate us on the electoral college. Because that's how the voting is really done. That's how the president really gets into office. Um, when you vote for the president, you're not even voting for the president. Like, even if I voted for Ramaswamy, which I might, he might get my vote. I'm not voting for him. I'm voting for my elector. To maybe vote for him, I still don't even really understand it. Like, do they get the votes or not? And if you like, what's it called? Trump only won the election in 2016 because he got more electoral college votes. Like Hillary won the majority vote, but Trump won because he had the electoral college. So that's if that's confusing for me, I know it's got to be confusing for other people, bro. Because I think I'm a very well read, understood man, but I don't understand the electoral college, and that's really what we should be talking about. That's really the reason. Now, I could get going on the reason why people aren't voting, but I already did in another podcast. There's a whole bunch of reasons why people aren't voting. The electoral college, um, people feel like their votes don't even matter because that's something that's talked about as well. And also, this country hasn't done a very good job of making voting cool, of making people want to vote. Because actually, this country had a reputation of doing the opposite. They actually didn't want people to vote. Oh, if you're black, nope, you can't vote. If you're a woman, nope, you can't vote. If you're this, you can't vote. So this country actually has itself to blame, Ramaswamy, for why people aren't voting. What's my stance on gun ownership? I actually have opinions on gun ownership. Um, I think that the First Amendment was enacted what's it called? The First Amendment or whatever, the Gun Amendment is the intention is so that the civilians can stand a chance against the government in case they ever want to go to war, right? As far as I'm concerned. So back then, the only thing they had was the bolt action, bruh. All you had was bolt action. Right? Muskets. So back then, the citizens and the military were on even ground, right? I mean, I think this is even before tanks were invented. Let's see. When were tanks invented? Tanks are armored vehicles that were invented during World War One. The British Army was the first to develop tanks and unveiled the first prototype, Little Willie, in Little Willie. Pause. Little Willie in September 1915, yo. So tanks are actually only 100 years old. That's crazy. I didn't know that. So when we had the right to bear arms, let's look that up. All people had was muskets. So I'm gonna wrap this up, make it quicker. Um, what do I think? I think that this conversation is not it doesn't go anywhere good because I think the citizens should be able to have the equipment necessary to protect themselves from the government in case it wants to go to war. So I think we should all have access to the same weapons. We should have access to tanks. We should have access to grenades, RPGs, all that stuff. Because Kamala Harris, and that's another thing is these mass shootings, when these mass shootings happen, it's always the gun's fault. How come it's the gun's fault if the guy's white, but when a black guy steals, it's not the item's fault, right? It's not the person. How come it's not the purse's fault that it got stolen? The purse shouldn't have been so appealing to the eye, right? It's the purse's fault. It's the car's fault that it got stolen because the car was appealing. The car just looked too cool. I had to take it, right? These guns are just too powerful. It's their fault. That's what I'm saying, bro. When these mass shootings happen, it's the person's fault. You need to be. Here's the thing. Have you ever met a really mentally ill person, like a retarded person? They don't have the capacity to do a mass shooting, bro. Like, let's stop. Let's start using words correctly here. That's what I want to get on these politicians for, doing all this word magic. I think we should have AKs, guns, tanks, all that, bro. Because how are we supposed to defend ourselves if the government wants to go to war if all I have is a pistol or a musket? You know? Now, the guns and the RPGs is a stretch. I'm kind of joking. But logically, we should be able to. We're talking about logic here. Thank you, bro. Yeah, they're not stupid. They're evil. They have hate in their heart. Someone who's mentally ill will cross the street without pressing the crosswalk. Someone who's mentally ill will, you know, leave the stove on and forget to turn it off. That's what mentally ill people. They don't they don't go Call of Duty missions on freaking churches, grocery stores, and schools, okay? They're not playing Call of Duty IRL. They're not doing that. Unfortunately, some people can't be trusted with weapons. No, that's true, but that's true. And that's just really that is the argument. That's what we need to be talking about is how but here's the thing. I don't think it's some people. I think it's every person, right? Every man has his price, as they say. So, Kishi Nimagaba. My bad, my bad. we're gonna wrap this up in like 5 minutes because I've been yapping, bro. I've been big time yapping. Oops. But here's the thing. Anybody can snap, and that's what you see in these domestic violence cases. Is like we were talking about earlier. Desperate people do desperate things. Like this guy is not mentally ill, he's desperate, right? He's evil. He's doing that evil act because he's desperate. He never got hugged as a kid, right? Blah blah blah. That's not mentally ill, right? There's a lot of people who had bad childhoods that don't shoot up schools, right? There's a lot of people who never had their parents who go on to build billion-dollar companies. So, hey, heck yeah, bro. That's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about. Keeping it civil. No, we don't have to agree on everything. Um, why don't we agree on everything? I think it's because perspectives. And from perspective, I mean literally. Like I'm a spirit living life through this body, looking at life through my eyes. And so are you. So like you're saying, like you've experienced a different side of life than I have. I've experienced a different side of life than you have. And ultimately, just like with the conversation on abortion, I don't know, how do you feel about abortion, bro? Let's talk about abortion, then I'll get out of here. And yeah, right to carry weapons. I know it's kind of crazy, but I think we should at least be able to have assault weapons. I'm talking about automatic, because that's the intent. That's the point of that's what George Washington would have wanted, bro. He would have wanted us to be able to go toe to toe with the government. That was the whole point of the amendment. My opinion on abortion, well, ultimately, I don't think there's a right or wrong answer on it. And that was my point with this conversation stuff. Like me and you, we have different opinions, but I think it's because there's really no right or wrong answer. And right? You're pro-life with two exceptions. What are those exceptions? Because because first of all, the questions are loaded questions. Pro-life, pro-choice. Like, oh, if you pick pro-choice, all of a sudden, what? You don't want babies to be alive? You're not pro-life? Like, the way that these words, I'm telling you, man, I'm about to get on these politicians for the way they naming these bills, bro. I'm about to get on them because I don't like how they pitting people against each other. Here's the thing: if you're pro-choice, that doesn't mean you're pro-abortion, which is how people get treated who are pro-choice. No, pro-choice literally means what it means. You think that an individual should be able to choose. And if you're pro-life, you're actually not pro-life, you're pro-not choice. But here's the thing, pro-not choice, that just doesn't sound right. You know what I'm saying? How can you support being not pro-choice? But pro-life? Of course I'm pro-life. What do you mean? You know I'm not pro-life, bro. You think I want people to die? No, I think people should have the choice. And in this topic specifically, I don't think there's a right or wrong answer, but I think there's no right or wrong answer in the sense of should someone abort their kid. I think I think that person just has to make that choice. Whatever choice they make is the choice. But forcing someone to give birth, I don't think that doesn't sound right either. That's the thing. I don't feel like I can like I don't want to be a part of forcing someone to have a child, right? Like there's a mother giving birth right now because that was some other person's opinion, right? Because of some other person's opinion, now she has to birth this kid. Now that conversation kind of keeps going, but that's most things in life. I want to thank you, No Alliances, for tuning in to the Hoolagans Podcast. I've been your host, Cameron Lancourt, aka Tri-C.